It's almost been 3 months since the start of this special military operation of Russia against Ukraine. In this video, I'll share my thoughts on how I personally fare under the sanctions and under the new normal of living in Russia. I will show you around of how things are looking like. There are two things I'd like to show you today. The first is the state of current Russian economy and the first signs of the demise. It's been mere 3 months, but you can see the first signs of what is coming, the economic tsunami, so to speak. Now, this part is fairly easy to show. You're gonna see it with your own eyes. And the second part is much more difficult because it's personal. It's about me. It concerns what's inside of me, how I'm feeling 3 months into this event. Instead of telling you of how difficult this economical situation is, living under sanctions, how bad sanctions are and so forth, I've decided to show you. So I brought you to a hugely popular shopping mall. It's called Mega Teplый Stan. Well, once hugely popular, not so popular these days. And this is the IKEA, now closed. And this entire shopping mall belongs to IKEA, actually. To show you even more, I've decided to invite a good friend of mine, Russell. He's running a YouTube channel, Traveling with Russell, and he's been witnessing how Russia's been changing for the past 3 months.
Yes. Are you going to ask me questions or you want me just to talk back? Hi, Konstantin. How's it going?
Pretty good. So you've been witnessing this whole thing, right?
Yes.
Have you been to this particular shopping center before?
Actually, I've been here quite a few times because, as Konstantin pointed out, this is one of our favorite shops, or my wife's favorite shop, IKEA, right behind here. So I've actually lived in Moscow on and off for 9 years. So we've actually been to this place. Actually, most of our apartment is IKEA products, for better or worse. But now, as you can see...
Look, the first time I drove to IKEA was back in 2004, and I couldn't find a parking spot. I had to do rounds and rounds and rounds. And the latest I had to do rounds, actually, was around New Year.
Right.
What's your experience?
Yeah, so we came here also. We don't actually have a car, so we did car sharing. And we drove out here to buy some items for our apartment. And I remember actually just over here, the same thing. We literally drove in circles, because the idea is to be as close as you can to the exit and entrance of IKEA. And you couldn't find a spot. There was people parked up on the curbs. And now it's
insane.
It's like you can hear birds tweeting. It's so quiet. And this is very close to a major highway as well. And it's just...
And this is prime time. It's not like you were Monday morning, you know?
Right, Sunday afternoon, it's the weekend. Everybody's off on the weekends, typically coming to this shopping. It's true. It's like eerie almost when you come here because you just expect it to be busy. Right, this is the entrance to the mega shopping center in the middle.
No one is getting out, going in.
No, right. Normally also the cars would pick up and drop off. And this is actually the bus here that takes you around the car parks. And even this guy...
Free bus?
Yeah, it just takes you between the different areas of the shopping center. And there's a couple of people on it.
Well, I tell you what, not for long. They're not going to do that for long.
Yeah, it's still running and there's virtually nobody on that bus. And I was going to have a look here on the right. The flags are not even furling today. Is it called furling when they fly the flags?
Surreal, my friends. First thing I see is McDonald's sign. Is McDonald's still open? This is a great shopping mall. I did a walking tour of the shopping mall a while ago. It's one of the oldest shopping malls here in Moscow, but it's been refitted a couple years ago. So it looks very modern, very new. My friends, this is Sunday afternoon, prime time. There are so many people, they're like packed like sardines in this place. Subway's open. It's an American brand. Baskin Robbins is open. It's funny how they have an escalator closed. They're trying to save money.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what they're doing.
Oh, of course. They're saving on electricity. They're trying to cut all costs as much as possible. It also could be that ThyssenKrupp, a huge manufacturer of these things, the escalators, has left Russia. That's why it's closed, because they don't get spare parts and they don't get maintenance. No, KFC is open, McDonald's no more. And people who are telling you that McDonald's is still operating in Russia, they're not telling you the truth, because there are some McDonald's restaurants open, but they're not McDonald's anymore. They're pirates. Burger King is open. So actually, I think the McDonald's crowds, customers, they all moved to Burger King. Okay, this is how many people there are. I would say this shopping mall is empty. Empty.
Now, just walking around together, it's kind of interesting just to note how quiet it really is here. And for me personally, I think a lot of the crowd that's not here were the IKEA shoppers, and also the people that were going to the major brands like H&M, Zara, Stradivarius, and they're just not here now. So that's why it just feels so empty when we walk around, because that crowd's not coming over to the shopping center. The anchor stores, right? Yeah, and there's just not enough ongoing foot traffic to allow the shopping center to stay this busy.
Was it Zara? Yeah, Zara's left. No, that's H&M. That's not Zara.
Oh, H&M, sorry.
Well, that's H&M was huge. Collins, I think it's a Russian brand, and Be Free, I'm not sure, perhaps a Russian brand as well. They're staying. Now we are entering a large multi-screen movie theater. Kind of looks run down. Look, they just had a fresh renovation. Holy.
Tiles.
Yeah, I know. This is a shopping mall, upscale shopping mall, for God's sake. Is it? Well, it's still working, is it?
Yeah.
It's boarded up?
Yeah, some of the screens.
But no people. No movies, because Americans forbade all the movies to be shown in Russia. Let's see what's playing. Batan and Super Baba, Artek, Russian, Крылья над Берлином, Russian, Заклятие, Russian, Казнь, is it Russian? Вечеринка, Russian. Uncharted, American. Adventures of the Tsar. Okay, that's quite an interesting movie, cartoon. So Russell, not too many movies playing, huh?
No, nothing that I can watch either, which is a bit of a shame. We're going to have to resort to the
Adventures of the Tsar.
Yeah.
Heineken is still staying in Russia. A huge Heineken fridge. Really strange. They've boarded up this sections of a shopping mall.
So one thing I was just talking to Konstantin about with the shopping center here is this is a standalone shopping center. So it doesn't have any passing traffic in terms of metro, buses, trains. So people have to drive here, park their car, come shopping intentionally. And because of that, people are just not coming anymore because they don't have the shops to come shopping at that they usually come to, the IKEAs, all of these anchor stores that we're seeing here, even Starbucks. Down the way there, Victoria's Secret. So people are just going to stop coming and it's going to get worse and it's going to get more and more empty every week. Yeah, Victoria's Secret there just off in the very distance.
Closed.
Yeah, closed. Yeah, you can actually see the lights are off, which is making it look even worse. And they still have the displays in the windows, but...
Marco Polo's closed. signs everywhere. Dear customers, temporarily closed.
This particular part of the shopping center too, with the lights are off. They've obviously got a lot of atrium lighting, but it just feels strange with all the shops having their individual lighting switched off, and how much quieter it is. Now, interestingly here, Tissot is open, but all of the center locations around Moscow are closed. So this is kind of a kiosk or a standalone store, and they're open. But the ones in Moscow in Tverskaya Street are 100% closed. And here we go, this little sort of corner here.
Uniqlo is Japanese.
Yep, Uniqlo is no longer. And Victoria's Secret.
Zara to the right, Chanel.
Yeah. Chanel, yeah, this is very strange kind of middle part of the shopping center here.
Gap is still open.
Yeah, it's very interesting with Gap because in America, Gap is so well known. And then you come here and they're trading.
This is very strange because Lego has announced that it's leaving Russia and it's still open. This right behind me is a good example of how Russians are trying to fight the sanctions from the West. In Russia, we just had a new law introduced, and it's called parallel import. It means that the small companies can go and buy different products and bring them to Russia and sell under their names, not under the names of the big brands. They can go and buy these products in China and bring to Russia and sell them legally in Russia. This is a little busier, but it's not nearly as busy as Auchan, this food superstore, gets, because you should see lines and crowds here on a regular Sunday. Way, way bigger. I want to show you a few staples like tomatoes, cukes, potatoes, milk, bread. Little flags on the side, they show where this product is originated from. These are Azerbaijani potatoes, Russian potatoes, $1.99 per kilo for 2 pounds. Trust me, it's far from cheap. We are in the middle of the tomato season, and usually they're much, much cheaper. Oh, much cheaper.
Used to be now.
It's just 5 months ago it was cheaper. This is discounted from 1,000 rubles to 8.59. It's still so much money for a kilo of cheese. Apples, 129, usually 69, 79, 89 by most, okay?
So one thing I want to point out that maybe Konstantin didn't really notice walking around is that typically in American supermarkets, in Australian ones, maybe in England, people have full baskets when they go shopping. And here in Russia, you'll see people have just a few items, maybe 5, maybe 10 items. And it's commented a lot to me on my channel as well, like, why aren't people shopping? Why aren't people's baskets full? But they're being more cautious now. They're checking the prices a lot more than they used to. They're buying just the basic staple items, and that's it.
You know, Russell, I think it's because they just don't have as much money.
Well, that's, going forward, I think people are just being more cautious with how they spend on a weekly basis. I mean, look at potatoes, 89 rubles.
Friggin' so expensive.
And these are the
149. Used to be like 25, 35.
Right, 90 rubles for potatoes. This is the staple of Russia, and it's close to 3 times the price.
Yeah, and it's not premium. It's not
Right.
washed.
Not even.
It's dirty. It's like out of the ground. It used to be like the cheapest, 25 rubles for this.
Right.
Oh
89 is.
Hey, look there, 99.
But,
The washed ones, the clean potatoes.
yeah, 99 rubles for.
From Egypt. This is my friends. This is a shame,
But they're not particularly good potatoes. They're very tiny. These aren't. You're struggling to use these really.
And there are quite a few green ones. You cannot. This is actually poisonous.
Yeah, the
Green stuff. Milk is another staple here in Russia, and it looks like it's gone up, but not by much. 97 rubles. I used to pay like 75, 80. Russell is doing his magic. Russell, what are you doing?
I'm trying to put my microphone on.
Well, you do YouTube?
Yeah.
No
yeah.
way!
Yes. Traveling with Russell. You have to look me up sometime.
Good,
Links in the
good.
description.
There you go. So, Russell, you have a coffee machine at home, right?
Yes.
For this thing, Nescafe Dolce Gusto.
Yeah, my wife, we just bought one a couple of months ago before all of this happened, and we were paying only 399 rubles for the same packaging. That's now 700, 800 rubles, even 600. This
399, right? So it's doubled.
right, in less than 3 months.
Unbelievable.
Now my wife is like upset because she put so much faith in buying one of these, and now we can barely afford to buy the replacements.
A couple months ago, there was a situation where we had shortages of sugar. Literally, the prices have gone up so much, but you couldn't find sugar anywhere. And now, look, there are bags of it. I think it used to cost somewhere around 30, 40 rubles. Now the cheapest one is 76.90, special product, special price. Just regular sugar, you know. Nothing fancy about this. And the fancy one, of course, costs more. Uncle Ben's Original. I think they cut the guy from the picture. I don't know why.
Yeah, now it's not the Uncle Ben's anymore, right?
Ben's. Russell is looking for a sauce for tonight's pasta. What do you usually get? Dolmio.
Yeah, this is about as non-Russian as you can possibly find.
Here, Russell, have some beer.
What's the logo say? Is that the brand of beer or?
I don't know, probably. Well, my friends, we've decided to make a little makeup party, you know, inside of the store. The yard party. Cheers to you, the beer party.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's probably. We could probably sit here and no one would say nothing for the afternoon.
Oh.
I was just looking at the chair here, and this is pretty much the absolute standard plastic chair. Every Australian house has 4 or 6 of these in their shed, and typically one's broken, and you have to just put up with it.
Summer in Russia is going to be outdoorsy. Well, because there are so many people going to be out of jobs with plenty of time on their hands, and of course they're going to be doing lots of barbecuing.
One thing that we were just talking about, Konstantin and I, just as we're coming out the exit here, is there's very few actual Russians shopping here. Most of who you're going to see from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Georgia, Armenia. And if you look, probably 2 out of 10 are maybe Russians.
3 out of 10,
Yeah, who are actually Russian shopping here, which is kind of an interesting statistic, really. You know, if you look at the greater amount of people shopping. So just as we're walking out here, going through one of the perfume stores, so we noticed a little bit earlier on that Chanel was closed, but here's a bit of a secret, I guess. Have a look right there. So there's the Chanel Cosmetics.
Yep.
And then actually on the entrance point to the store, they've got Chanel advertising. Who would have thought the Chanel stores are closed, and yet they're still advertising Chanel right there. So we're just walking past the Nespresso store, and of course, Nespresso has left Russia completely. But back in the supermarket, you can still buy Nespresso capsules in the coffee aisle. So it's closed here, but we can still get it in the supermarket. Yeah, this is the upscale version of Gap. And in America, this is like a staple clothing store to go to. But here in Russia, hardly a person in the store.
My friends, what a sad sight. No, not Russell. Russell is actually a cheerful sight. IKEA. This place used to be the busiest entrance exit of this entire shopping mall, because this is a direct entrance into IKEA. The traffic here was incredible, and now it's closed. Now, I've just taken you on a walking tour to show how a Russian, very popular shopping mall in Moscow looks like. And these things that you just saw, and these things are the first signs of coming trouble. This is where people stop coming first. The shopping malls, they start saving money. The second part of my message concerns me, and it's much more difficult, much more painful. Oi, it's been 3 short months and my life has been changed so much. This military operation has touched me very, very closely. Right from the day one, I have taken it personally because I really know what's going on in Ukraine. I really know what is happening in Russia, and I am well familiar with the West. I understand that a lot of things are being left out and unsaid. In my eyes, there's a tragedy happening in Ukraine, and I feel responsible and guilty. Yes, responsible and guilty. I take everything very, very closely. And ever since this thing started on February 24th, the inside of me has been filled with a really bad cocktail of emotions and feelings. It's anger, it's pain, it's despair, it's perhaps depression. I've never been depressed before, so I don't really know how depression feels like, but perhaps it's partially what it is. All kinds of bad emotion, hurtful emotion, it's inside of me now. It's not getting any better. It's been 3 months and I honestly don't really know what to do. Every day I keep on doing live streams, but I feel like it's not enough. It's not enough. I'm not doing enough, but the question is, I don't really know what else I can do. I go out and stream, share my opinion, send my message, and pray. And I just feel like it's not enough. At first, I had very, very sharp pain in my heart. It felt like it was bleeding, and now it's quieted down and became dull. I talked about it in a video and in a stream in the past. And the thing is, it's not just me feeling that way. Some people that are close to me are the same way, and some people I know, some colleagues, not all. My estimation is that the 3/4 of Russians not taking this thing too personally, too closely, and somewhat support it. Perhaps that's what they show. Perhaps they feel differently inside, but that's the feeling I get. And about 1/4 of Russians that I know are very touched, are very disturbed, are very sorry. And the worst part is that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in Ukraine, when this bloodshed is going to stop, what's going to happen with my company, with my life. It's just, everything is so turbulent, and it's only been 3 months. What will next 3 months bring? I don't even want to think about this. I want you to watch another video I made, Russia's Brief History 1991-2022, as seen through my eyes, right here. I hope that you will watch and you will understand more how I am feeling. I'll see you there.